Hello, my name is Derek Todd from Deaf Scotland, and we're here today. We have a special guest with us. Would you like to introduce yourself? Hello, my name is Ailsa Flett from the Deaf Communication Service under Fife Council. Great, thanks for joining us, Ailsa. It's been a long time since I've seen you. We used to work together a long time ago. Yes, that's right, I remember that. Okay, I'm interested to find out about you and your involvement. How were you involved in the British Sign Language Bill, BSL Bill, its development, BSL as a language, the national plan and the local authorities plan? Can you tell me how you were involved in that process, Ailsa? The BSL plan is a big part of my job. I work together with BSL users, colleagues under Fife Council and external colleagues. And our team also has a representative on the BSL local plan group, which has a large remit. My responsibility for this work is translating information into BSL for the deaf community. And this is a really important piece of work because of COVID, ensuring that people have up-to-date information. We have a YouTube channel and we've uploaded various videos, which has really been exciting, but it's also been challenging, taking that information in English and putting it across in BSL, ensuring that BSL users will understand the message, and also working with interpreters and other colleagues. So it's been fantastic. Wow. It's really unfortunate due to the coronavirus pandemic. That's brought again another layer of communication barriers and access for information for deaf people. But you've been working tirelessly every week because the news changes every week. So you've been doing that. So thank you very much, Ailsa, for your support in that. And I know you've been involved in a lot of support, whether it's through BSL tuition, training, and everything. Is that correct? Yes, that's right. Well, due to coronavirus, we've had to stop, but we do provide a lot of training on one-to-one and in groups as well. But due to social distancing restrictions, we're not able to do that. But the training that we offer is really important for people to learn. So part of the training, we inform them where they can go and learn BSL, whether that's within Fife or Dundee or within areas that they live. So now, do you remember the Thursday, the 17th of September 2015? And that was when the BSL Scotland Bill was passed in Parliament. What were you doing that day and what did you think of that historic moment? It's actually quite a long time. I had to think back, but actually I was working. And I remember watching the news and seeing an interpreter on screen and all the deaf people cheering in Parliament, and I was absolutely delighted with that. I saw Facebook and Twitter and social media posts as well. It was a great day. You mentioned it was a fantastic event when the bill was passed, but for you personally, how did that feel? Did you feel emotional? Did you feel that was a burden lifted, or did you feel that there was an achievement made? The bill was passed and it was unanimous for Scotland, but I know that there's still a lot of work still to be done because there's still barriers out there for BSL users. And I felt at that time it was a fantastic achievement in Scotland because I know that England didn't have that. And the future of BSL users would I think, hopefully be easier. Yes, you're absolutely right. There's a lot of hard work. It's not the work's finished. There's a lot of work still to be done, Ailsa. Okay, so now we're in 2020. Fast forwarding 5 years since the bill was passed. What does that mean to you now? And what impact has it made on you compared to 5 years ago? Well, two things. It's affected me in two ways. And certainly in my personal life, I feel that there's been an improvement in communication, of booking interpreters, for example, for hospital appointments or my own personal appointments. there's been an improvement in that. At the start, I had to badger them and remind them to book an interpreter. That's improved. And also in my work area, my access to work hours for interpreter has increased because of the number of training that I'm providing. Because the interest is growing in learning about deaf awareness. So there's more training that I provide every week. Well, actually, it's actually every month. And I realise now that actually with the local plan and the national plan, there's more improvements. But due to coronavirus, it's all on hold. But hopefully, I feel that overall the communication for BSL users is better and there has been an improvement. One thing I would like to add though, Derek, is for Contact Scotland BSL, I think that's made a huge difference to my life in making phone calls. I can call anybody, which has improved from being restricted to only phoning certain organisations. Now I can call anyone, and that's made a big impact on my own personal life. It's much easier, and that I don't have to rely on others to make phone calls. Fantastic. Yes, you're absolutely right. Of course, there are a lot of positives within it, but yeah, there's still areas of improvement as well. And some things take time. We've got the process, sometimes there's red tape, sometimes it's policy, political, but again, we can try our best under these circumstances. You mentioned Contact Scotland, Ailsa, Contact Scotland BSL. Which is where deaf people can make phone calls. Some people can even phone a takeaway and even get their car fixed. I haven't phoned a takeaway yet, Derek. I've not done that yet. But what's useful for me is phoning the vets or the housing department or the council or various things like that. It's been very useful. That's great. Okay, so now, as I say, we're in 2020. Looking to the future. What's the one thing that you hope to see happening next? That's a big question, Derek. Oh, let me think. One thing, I'm sure everybody will share the same dream, is that everybody learns BSL. I know that's impossible at this stage, but even in the council, if we can go, when we go back to business post-coronavirus, I'm hopeful that frontline staff can communicate with deaf people, whether that's in hospitals as well as councils for hospital appointments, volunteering, anything like that, where frontline staff come across BSL users, because they're the first person to meet in the building. And again, that would be really useful. It would become much easier for deaf people. They would be less stressed and less anxious about that. So that would be really useful. That would be a fantastic role model for providing deaf awareness training, all the training in one, some BSL, welcoming people, saying, hello, my name is in BSL. And you're absolutely right, it reduces the stress levels and anxieties in BSL users as they're the first point of contact within the building. Absolutely. It might be on your list to do for Fife Council going forward for the local plan. Well, actually, this is something that we've spoken about last year, but again, due to COVID-19, some people have approached us coming forward for training, and they've said that others who have been on training have encouraged their colleagues to attend, which is really astounding to me. I didn't realise that people are passing that on. One thing that has already happened in my work is that some persons already learning to sign. And I thought, this is wonderful, it's just basic, at a basic level, but you contacted the team to say that there's one person, the deaf person contacted the team to say there's one person can learn sign language, and that's great. I'm sure it supports you as well, Ailsa, because you're able to communicate with more staff within the building and build relationships. Okay, so now, if you had a magic wand, imagine you're Harry Potter and you had a magic wand. What's the one thing that you can do every day to ensure that BSL users are included within society as equal citizens? The one thing that you can do every day, that can be personal or it can be in your professional life. Okay, so equality training, because I mean, I know that deaf people don't mean it, but they do see people as being separated. And I think it doesn't really matter what the situation is. I don't know how that would happen, that everybody would work together. It would be a growing number to cover that training. And I think it would be really important to make sure that information and communication and everything is accessible to BSL user. I'm aware that that's a large project, and that's something that, you know, as professionals, translating information into BSL, whether it's a small material, a large piece of material, whether it's NHS, Police Scotland, whatever public body there is out there, ensuring that that happens. I know it's not fully my responsibility, but again, it's about them raising awareness and ensuring that their service is accessible to deaf people. And as I say, it goes back to raising awareness. They say communication. Communication is everyone's business, Ailsa. That's what they say. Actually, everybody is involved in communication, regardless of ethnicity, background, anything like that. Communication is everybody's business. Well, actually, communication is paramount for people. It's vital. It's not just deaf people, but everybody out there has a right to communication. But I think deaf people are affected more by barriers in communication, whether it's a misunderstanding, a lack of information, confused by the message, translation issue. All these reasons, actually, everybody has a right to access to information, and everybody has a right to equity of information and communication. And that's really important for me. I think it would be important to include deafblindness within that as well, because I've noticed that deafblind people in this situation perhaps use tactile BSL, perhaps are at home because of the restrictions. They're unable to have communication in their own language due to PPE issues and all of that. So they're having access to communication issues. The simple answer is technology, but I have to say technology doesn't work for everybody, especially older people who perhaps don't have access to any technology. And then, of course, with the effects of COVID as well, where people are restricted and stuck at home, and the difficulties they have, might not be able to access their family members. And I would agree with deaf blindness as well. That's a huge area for sensory loss, dual sensory loss, and the impact that that has on. Even if you do have family members, that's okay. But what about those situations families can help, and other situations where you need to ensure that there's professionals and communication support, whether that's a legal setting or different areas like that. So again, I think that's a huge area. Ailsa, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your support through the COVID pandemic within the Fife area and around Scotland. I've seen videos of you pop up on social media from time to time. So, and again, thank you very much for your support, and it was great to see you. Yes, it was good to see you too. And also thanks to Jackie as well for translating. Thank you. Bye. Bye.